Hey guys, this is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with some daily analysis. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of May, 2016, and the time is 17:52 here in the UK. In today's analysis, we're going to be going through each and every pair on my list, and we're going to be looking at each time frame for those pairs. I am pressed for time today, so I'm going to skip the usual intro I do. You should watch Monday's analysis if you want a full intro so you understand a little more of what's going on here. But for today, I'm just going to jump straight into the analysis because I don't have much time. Okay, so in yesterday's analysis, we talked about a potential setup on EUR/JPY. We were looking at EUR/JPY, I think, on the 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour, and I was saying that it looked pretty good for a setup, and that I might enter it. I did end up entering this trade, not going as well as I wanted, but I am in this trade. So let's look at this real quick. Let's just jump straight to the 8 hour. We don't have to go through every single time frame because I'm in a trade on this. It's an active trade. So we'll just look at the time frame on which I traded this, on which I entered, which was the 8 hour. Now, I entered this trade short at 123.96. My target is down at around about the 122.20, a bit higher than that, I think, but around about there. My stop loss is at the 124.64. This is a pretty good trade setup. It's a good looking trade setup, but it's not going as well as I wanted. Right now, price has dropped, hit my entry, so it triggered, came down, and now it's pulling back up above my entry, actually. So, it's not going too well. But that being said, I don't really care. This is what I like to call a freak out point. And I call it a freak out point because traders who aren't psychologically strong in their trading, they freak out at points like this. When they see something like this, price retracing on them soon after entering a trade, they freak out and they do stupid things, like jumping out of the trade, closing the position, getting out early. I don't do that. I set my stop loss up here. It's a safe stop loss. It's behind the resistance area, or at least inside a resistance area. It's beyond some recent highs from this pair, so it's beyond the recent highs. So I feel my stop loss is pretty safe, and I don't see any reason to panic and exit this trade. I'm not going to say that I'm feeling good about this trade because it's not going where I want it to go right now, but I'm not feeling bad about this trade. I'm kind of indifferent towards it right now. It's just doing what price does sometimes, and it may work out, it may not work out. We'll just see how it goes. But this is definitely not a point where you would want to jump out of the trade. It's still pretty well protected, so I am not that concerned. All right, let's look at AUD/JPY. We talked about a potential trade on AUD/JPY yesterday. Never really triggered. I mean, on the 6 hour chart, which you're about to see now, it was kind of a setup, but it was a pretty bad setup. And also I had EUR/JPY, so I kind of ignored AUD/JPY yesterday. Wasn't interested, and there's nothing forming on it right now. So yeah, we'll skip that. Okay, so USD CAD daily. We talked about a trade on here yesterday also. I did not end up taking this trade because it did not meet my minimum risk to reward ratio, which was 2. It did not meet my minimum risk to reward ratio, so I skipped the trade. And what do you know? This is the trade that's working out, and it's working out well. I know a lot of you out there took this trade. I've been getting a lot of emails about it, and a lot of Skype messages about it. So if you took this trade because you were willing to take a lower minimum risk to reward ratio, then good for you. You're doing great and it's working out well. I would still hold out until around about the 127.55-ish, something like that. That would be a sensible target for this trade. So good luck on this trade if you're in it, and I hope it works out for you. Let's look at all the time frames. Some people in the advanced course, some are smart people, I guess you could say, some people who were a little bit smarter than me this week, entered this on the 8 hour. Now, when looking at this on the 8 hour, said to myself, I'm going to wait for the 12 hour. And then I never ended up entering it because my risk to reward ratio got thrown off. On the 8 hour, this would have been a great trade for me to enter. I skipped it. A lot of the advanced course members entered it, and they're doing quite well with this one. But you know, I can't always be right. Yeah, okay, so we've gone through all the time frames. Let's look at GBP USD. Again, yesterday we were looking at a potential trade setup on GBP USD, but this one has not triggered. Nothing came out of this one, so there is nothing forming on there right now. USD JPY. Price has just broken through a resistance area, so there's nothing forming on here right now, nothing tradable. All right, Euro USD. Let's look what's happening on Euro USD. Drop down, broke through a support area, coming back up to a resistance area. It's forming indecision on that resistance area. So price is stalling at that area. Check that out on the 6 hour. Interesting. I might be tempted to take a trade here, actually. This would be kind of a continuation trade, but it would also be a reversal trade. Good risk to reward ratio. All right, I'm going to monitor this one. It looks like it could potentially be a pretty decent reversal trade. Reversal / continuation. Continuation because the main trend is heading down. It's come back up, and I'd be looking for continuation. These are they tend to be very strong reversal setups like this, because it's going with the major trend. So yeah, this looks pretty decent. Looks pretty decent. The daily trend is still up though, so that would be somewhat concerning, but it's something I'm going to look at. I don't have that much time today for this analysis, so I'm not going to talk about this setup too much, but please do follow me on TradingView, which is my charting platform, and on Twitter. I'll put my Twitter name is @ForexForNoobs. If this trade does end up triggering, I'll post more information about it. I might even make a post on my blog about this one. It's looking pretty good, and it would be a nice continuation. So I might enter this one. We'll see how it plays out. All right, GBP USD we went through. USD JPY we discussed. AUD USD. Let's look at AUD USD. Meh, nothing. New Zealand USD, it's headed right into a resistance area. Similar to Euro USD, pushing down, might be somewhat of a continuation. It does look like price is stalling on this resistance area. Oops. All right, let me fix this. Yeah, that's better. Looks like price is stalling on this resistance area, so it's something worth keeping an eye on, but it doesn't look as good as Euro USD right now, so I'll just keep an eye on this one. GBP JPY. I am running out of time for this analysis. I have a busy evening tonight. I have a webinar for advanced course members that is starting soon, so I need to prepare for that. Euro AUD. I'm going to skip these other three pairs. I've checked them recently and there's nothing forming on them anyway. So I'm going to skip these ones for now because I don't have time. I want to quickly go back to Euro USD and talk about this really quickly. So this looks like a pretty decent setup. It is kind of a continuation / reversal, because we got this trend going down. It could be coming up to here and continuing down. So yeah, I am very tempted to take this one. It's got a good risk to reward ratio. We just need to see how this candle closes. On the 6 hour, we have 3 hours 57 minutes until close, so it is still quite some time. Anything can happen, but it is worth keeping an eye on. New Zealand USD, similar situation, heading into a resistance area, but we're not really seeing any strong indecision here right now, but we are seeing signs of price stalling here. So, this is also a pretty decent sign that a reversal might be coming here, but this one's going to take a little bit longer to develop. Euro JPY, the trade I'm in, I'm just going to be holding this position. I don't see any reason to exit. I don't see any reason to freak out. It's still looking pretty decent overall to me, so I'm going to be holding on to this one. And USD CAD, for those of you who entered this trade based on yesterday's analysis, I would say hold it. It's still looking pretty good. Just hold on to the trade. Okay, guys, other than that, I'm going to end this analysis. I'm sorry it was so rushed, but I hope you found it useful. And add me on TradingView and add me on Twitter for more info on the Euro USD trade if it does trigger. I'll see you guys later.